Hello everyone, welcome to Katharine's Creatures episode 22. This is a series where we get to talk about and discuss various beast beings, creatures, and the like from mythologies told from all around the world. And I always preface or try to preface by saying that I am not a linguist, so if I mispronounce any particular word or name, it is not intentional. I am doing my best and I do apologize in advance. So today we're going over to Korea and we're going to be talking about the let me see again, here's the pronunciation thing, the Dokkaebi. Correct me if someone knows better how to pronounce this. So the Dokkaebi is essentially what they call the Korean goblin. Now, this creature is some kind of nature, spirit, deity from their mythos. They're associated with having different kind of powers and abilities, and kind of like the certain groupings of fae from Celtic lore, they can either be very helpful or quite mischievous in nature. Their forms vary tremendously, but depending on the lore, they're usually described as being some kind of fearsome presence or some awe-inspiring entity. Now, they are different from other kind of European fae, as well as very different from some of the ghosts and more spirits associated within the Korean lore, because they are actually formed or created through a spiritual connection with a particular inanimate object. And sometimes this is human blood. Other times it is something a little less fearsome, and for instance like a broom. So, but this connection with an inanimate object, again, the spiritual connection, creates this entity. Again, let me try this again. Dokkaebi, the goblin from Korea. Now, they, again, predominantly harmless, or they, are very big tricksters. They have a high affinity for wrestling and supposedly are unbeatable with a few exceptions. Some of the lore says that if you either expose or exploit, with some of the wording which is interesting to me, the right side of their body, they are easily then beaten. Other times say that if it is the Dokkaebi, and remember, they're described physically very different, but sometimes they're described with one leg, and if that's the case, one way to beat them in a wrestling match is to hook the leg and cause the Dokkaebi to fall down. So there's a lot of other lore that kind of goes around the presence of the goblin. For instance, before or to herald their arrival, sometimes they're associated with a mystical fire. Now, this fire can be described as kind of a shimmering, glimmering light, or it can be like this blue column of flame that appears before the goblin shows up. They are often in possession of different magical items, including one that allows them or grants them the gift of invisibility. One of the other ones they commonly carry around is a type of club, which they kind of use more like a magic wand that we think of today. Now, the Dokkaebi has an affinity to certain type of foods, and this includes sorghum cakes, brown rice cakes, a medley of the two, buckwheat jelly, and any kind of combination of the above. So that is the kind of food and they enjoy. Have you tried any of it? I actually have not. Now, if you have any questions about this or any other lore, post them in the comments below or message me on social media. And until next time, Skål.